Okay, we're in Module 6 and we're all the way down now to Section 2. I want to talk to you a little bit in this section about how to change your column width and your row width. What's going to happen is if you don't have enough space in a particular column for numbers, for example, you're going to end up seeing these little pound symbols. And if you don't have enough space as far as the rows go, then you might cut off some of the text that's in a particular cell. Let me go ahead and show you a little bit about how to change your column and row widths. Let's talk first of all about text. A good example in this exercise is if you look in column A, row 3, this text says Books and Beyond Northeastern Region. You'll notice it's all in A3, none of it's in B3 because when you click here you'll see there's nothing in the formula bar. Text will spill over to the next cell provided it is empty, like in this particular case. Numbers will not do that. Now if I happen to type something in B3 for example, notice how it chops off whatever is over in A3. Now I can make the column a little bit wider so that I can see everything there. And I can do that just by putting my mouse between the headers at the top. See how if you put your mouse between the A and the B there, you get the double black arrow? And then you can actually drag this as far as you need it to go in order to see everything that's in that particular column. Now you'll notice in this particular case, it made column A really wide, so that's really not going to work for me in this case, but that's how you would do that. I'm going to go ahead and delete that 5. And I'm going to move this back over a little bit. Something else you can do is if you know that you need a column to be a little bit wider, instead of dragging that left or right, you can actually double click that line that separates column A and B. And what that will do is look down the entire column, find the widest piece of information and make your column just that wide. Because a lot of times you might make it wide and it looks great and then you get further down and you need it to be even wider. Sometimes it'll make a column smaller. For example, if I look here at February and I come up and get the line that separates the D and the E, notice it made it a little bit smaller. See that? So you can always work with your column widths that way. Now let me go back and just make that smaller again because it's way too wide. The other thing I want you to notice is that numbers will not spill over. Let's say I take, for example, March, and I happen to make it a little smaller like this. You'll see that eventually you're going to see these little pound symbols like this. And sometimes you'll only see one in that column because maybe that one cell only is the one that wasn't wide enough. But anytime you see these, that means that the column is not wide enough. Even if the one to the right of it's empty like this, it's still not going to spill over. Only text will spill over. I'm going to undo that. All you'd have to do is go ahead and make your column a little bit wider like we talked about. I'd probably get up on the line that separates column E and F, double click, and now you'll see that it's wide enough. That's pretty much all you need to know about changing your column and row widths. Well, that's going to wrap up Module 6. Why don't we go ahead now and move over to Module 7, and I want to talk to you a little bit about how to move your data around. We're going to do our cut, copy, and paste, and I'll also show you how to copy some formulas. Let's move over now to Module 7.